Hello and welcome to Sunset TV. You're watching discussion today with me, Rajat Kane. In this episode, we'll discuss Indo-Bangladesh ties in the wake of Prime Minister Modi's visit to Bangladesh on March 26th and 27th, that is this weekend, to attend the celebration to mark the birth centenary of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and 50 years of the War of Liberation of Bangladesh. Well, recently, India and Bangladesh signed 7 agreements and also inaugurated 3 projects to deepen their partnership. The use of Chittagram and Mangla ports in Bangladesh for movement of goods to and fro India, particularly from the northeastern parts of India, and the use of Bangladesh's Feni River for drinking water supply in Tripura. To discuss further on this issue and, of course, how ties between two countries are of paramount importance, we join with the panel of 2 guests. Ms. Veena Sikri, former ambassador, ma'am, many thanks for joining us. And Joyita Bhattacharya, she is Senior Fellow, ORF. Well, many thanks for joining us. Let me start with you, Madam Ambassador Veena Sikri. At the outset, ma'am, how important are ties between two neighbors who, of course, share a very special bond?
The Bangladesh-India relationship is today one of the key pillars of India's neighborhood first policy. Prime Minister Modi himself has said this 3 months ago when he was meeting Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in a virtual summit on December 17, 2020. And it really has worked out like that because the Bangladesh-India relationship today has reached gone beyond any strategic partnership. It has reached enormous success and strength in every area. Our foreign minister described it as a 360-degree partnership. There is no area or field of activity that is not covered by Bangladesh. And I think the key factor in the relationship is that it is based on mutual trust, mutual benefit, and mutual respect. And Prime Minister Modi's visit at this moment to Bangladesh is a celebration of 3 very special events. Of course, it is the birth centenary of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. It is the golden jubilee of the Liberation War of 71, and it is the golden jubilee of Bangladesh-India diplomatic relations. And there has been a tremendous spate of celebrations already taking place. We have had a decision that Bangladesh and India will celebrate this jointly. Now, this is absolutely remarkable and a reflection of the great relationship that we enjoy with Bangladesh, that we are celebrating it jointly through a number of events, which include the, Bangabandhu Bapu digital exhibition, which include a film on the life of Bangabandhu, which is being made by Sham Benegal, which includes a cycle rally by BSF, 3,000 kilometers around the border, which includes special visits. The Tri-Services contingent from Bangladesh took part in our Republic Day parade. And during this visit itself, our Prime Minister will be the chief guest on the Independence Day of Bangladesh, the 50th Independence Day Golden Jubilee on 26th of March. This is a very special honor. I think the people of Bangladesh are happy and proud. The people of India are happy and proud. And it is really a coming together of 2 people in celebration and friendship.
Right. Many thanks, Ambassador Sikri, for your opening remarks. Let me go to Joyita Bhattacharya. Ma'am, looking at ties of any 2 countries more theoretically at this span of time across the world, like last year has been completely pandemic prone, a lot of things were stalled. Of course, diplomacy was there, but on a different scale about health and exchange of intelligence in terms of how to control the pandemic. Now, as we see the normalcy starting to arrive between, say, in terms of a normal discourse. So how do you see Indo-Bangladesh ties from that perspective? And that means what would be on the table when the 2 leaders, or for that matter, when 2 countries greet each other?
Definitely. I would first say that the pandemic actually taught us a new kind of diplomacy emerging, and also the priorities coming in, because when the pandemic happened, actually diplomacy didn't stop, and it took a very modern technology came in the way of diplomacy, and we have seen a lot of virtual summits taking place. In fact, both the leaders had met virtually in December 17. That really marked the beginning of the celebrations and the the developments that now we are seeing. But also, I would say the areas for along that were seem to be very softer issues, like talking about health, education. In fact, the health diplomacy has emerged a very big way, and we have seen the
Absolutely.
vaccine diplomacy, and which has been very successful in the Indo-Bangladesh relationship, not only in improving the relationship, but also changing of the perception and feeling of common bond that is necessary. And as this summit takes place, as already we know, this is a very important and very unique opportunity that is emerging. And in fact, the issues right now are being discussed is also education, talking about skilling, all these kind of issues. The trade is coming up, connectivity is coming up in a big way, because the pandemic has really taught us that the challenges and the challenges that we used to face the traditional way, it is going to change, and the non-traditional security is coming big way, which doesn't know any borders. So here we need a new kind of diplomacy, and I think this visit will begin a new era of diplomacy, looking into which shed borders and
Right.
a new cooperation of togetherness emerging in the horizon. Not only for Indo-Bangladesh relationship, this could be a beginning for the entire India's neighborhood policy.
Right, absolutely. This could be beginning of India's entire neighborhood policy. Ma'am Sikri, here, we we began with discussing how important are ties between the two nations. In terms of certain niggling areas, what are the ones where the two countries should confront and address, and of course, like attempt to flatten it out?
Well, I think that we have seen that the relationship has been building up steadily, and
Right.
despite pandemic, all the progress has continued. For example, just a week or 10 days ago, our two prime ministers virtually inaugurated this
Yes.
Maitri Setu, the friendship bridge across the river Feni. And this was a remarkable step forward in the connectivity relationships between India and Bangladesh, because now from Chittagong port, this bridge is only 80 kilometers, and you step into Tripura at Sabroom, and you can go right to the northeast and join the India-Myanmar-Thailand highway and go into Southeast Asia. It is a remarkable development. Now, this connectivity, why I'm mentioning it, because in a recent World Bank report, they said that connectivity and infrastructure development between India and Bangladesh can contribute almost 17 to 18% of GDP for Bangladesh, increase, and increase of 7 to 8% for India. So I'm emphasizing here that while we are focusing on connectivity, it is a great area of mutual benefit. Bangladesh has made a request to join the India-Myanmar-Thailand highway, and that way they will come into our connection with Southeast Asia as well. So Bangladesh is now being a very dynamic bridge between South Asia and Southeast Asia, and they are willing to be part of it and to be, and to develop that area. Another area which is going to probably be signed at this time is the area of oceanography. The maritime relations, the Bay of Bengal coordination and cooperation between India and Bangladesh is very important. We have solved our maritime boundary issue, and so we can move forward with maritime cooperation. Disaster management is another area. Climate change is another area. So we do see that Bangladesh-India relations are making progress in all these areas. Despite the pandemic, the progress has continued steadily, and of course we have this very strong people-to-people relationship where we issue visas for a very large number of people. I mean, largest between any two countries in the world, 1.5 million and more. So it's really been a tremendous success story based on mutual benefit.
Absolutely tremendous success story in terms of the mutual benefit. Ma'am, before I go off to Joyita here, just one small question. In terms of, say ties of trade and commerce, is there a potential that we need to explore further? Or, I mean, would you be satisfied with the current level of trade between the two countries, ties between the two countries?
I think there's definite potential to improve, definite. As it is, we have been paying a lot of attention to trade relations, and Bangladesh's exports to India have crossed $1 billion US, which is a big landmark. But there is huge potential, and I must say that all the connectivity projects that I've spoken about, the movement by waterway, movement by rail, movement by road, all this promotes trade, because this promotes container-based trade between India and Bangladesh and cuts down the time of travel. Actually, one of the problems in Bangladesh-India trade has been that it's been very, shall I say, stop and start. Every time you carry a truck up the border, you take off the goods, put on another truck, then move it across. So this has been very wasteful of time, and in trade, time is of the essence. So now with these connectivity projects, I see a great potential. The connectivity to the northeast, of course, is very good for India because we reach the northeast states in a much shorter time. But it is very, very good for Bangladesh as well, because they get access to the northeast market, and their goods can go to the northeast, and investments can and are taking place in Bangladesh by Indian companies for production and supply to the northeast. So you see, it's trade and investment all rolled into one. There is great potential. We have to work much harder at it. New border hearts have to be made. The border trade has to be strengthened. But the progress has been very good, but the potential is huge, even more. And in fact, Bangladesh-India relations are setting the model. They are a model relationship now for South Asia, where we are paying attention to bilateral trade, where we are stepping up the bilateral trade, not only our trade with other countries, and we are showing what good neighborly relations should be like. Well, there are other areas, of course, areas like water resources, which will always, and the water resources secretaries met in Delhi just last week. So we are paying attention to these areas, and in due course, these areas too will be areas of great success.
Right. Joyita, your take, ties between the two countries and in terms of trade and commerce, the potential that can be explored and how big the markets these two countries are for each other in terms of trade and commerce.
I strongly feel, it is just tip of the iceberg. There is a lot of potential that we can really benefit, because if you see the trade trajectory, it is 10 billion and the Bangladesh going. But if you see how the trade is going on, because with India actually trades with Bangladesh only 1%, and for Bangladesh, the trade with India is just 10% of its total global trade. But given our closeness, the borders, there is a potential, and Bangladesh, with its growth trajectory, it is emerging as a major market for Indian goods. We have to recognize with its 160 million population, it can emerge as a major market for Indian goods. So does India can become a major market for Bangladesh products. And Bangladesh is also exporting to different parts of the world. It's a leader in ready-made garments, and Bangladesh is tableware, the leather goods. These are like some of the best in the world. So there is an opportunity, and we have to benefit. And I strongly feel that we have to lay out the right kind of connectivity, hardware and software for coming up with the right potential, because as already Ambassador Sikri has mentioned about the World Bank report, and that report actually has shown that the World Bank, because of lack of connectivity, we are losing a big market. And if we can really connect those right connectivity framework and infrastructures, actually a trade, I think Bangladesh,
well,
17%. Yeah.
Please go on.
In fact, India's GDP can benefit almost 8%. So this is a very opportunities, and we really have to take this forward. I think if India and Bangladesh can work together, we can also think about all the other neighbors also, because in South Asia, the inter-regional trade has been very, very low. And together, if we can create a model, we can take not only India, Bangladesh together, moving towards East Asia also, and we can, those things, I think there is potentials.
Right.
But we have to keep our act together.
Right. Joyita, as Ma'am Veena Sikri mentioned that, say, ties between the two countries can also benefit us in terms of exploring market of the Southeastern Asian countries. How big of ties between the two countries do you see exploring those markets?
Definitely. actually, we have to recognize, today is also, when we are talking about, we have to recognize the value chain. Value chain, and Bangladesh has, in fact, there is a lot of complementarities, lot of strengths and potentials which we can utilize. Already a framework has been set up, because we have seen Bangladesh, a lot of Indian industries are actually going up and setting up their shops. Bangladesh has offered an EPZ EPZ, where Indian companies can go manufacture and can sell, because Bangladesh now also has certain, they enjoy a lot of opportunities and takes benefits still now, which India can take. And also, like many times, Bangladesh has a very good skills when it comes to ready-made garment industries, with a price compatibility when it comes to labor cost. So does these kind of things, it's happening already, and Indian clothing industry can also benefit. It's not only India and Bangladesh. East Asia, exploring East Asia is an opportunity. Also, Bangladesh has developed a very good skill when it comes to manufacturing of small ships, where we can also invest. And not only its industry and trade. I think there is potential also in the field of agricultural research. It's very important, because we have to understand the realities of the world, and the climate change is coming up in a big way. And Bangladesh has developed a very good expertise on handling agriculture, especially on seeds, saline resistant seeds, and this kind of research, and giving our geography, which has so much of similarities. We can share each other knowledge together, come up with those kind of agricultural research, and go not only agriculture, aquaculture, fisheries. We can take those opportunities, and we can explore our products together in different markets.
Right. Ambassador Sikri, looking at Indo-Bangladesh ties in a larger matrix of subcontinent, how you think the stability of subcontinent depends upon the stability of, say, 3-4 nations taken together, and essentially, if we talk of Indo and Bangladesh relationships?
Well, as I said, I think the India-Bangladesh relationship is emerging as a model for relationships in South Asia. And I think the progress, of course, the positive outcome, the successful results is an important indicator of that. But again, I would say that it is because it is based on mutual benefit and mutual trust and mutual respect. So every product, every step, every success that is taking place, you see the benefit for Bangladesh and you see the benefit for India. Now, this has gone very far in developing the confidence, and the people of Bangladesh increasingly are showing in their friendship with India and their willingness to take it to newer heights. I think this is what we would like to do with Bhutan. Already, India has a very, very good relationship, and we have worked it very well in the area of water resources and others. With Nepal, we have a good relationship. And now we are working in BBIN, sub-regional cooperation, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, and Nepal. And this again is working out to be a big success story.
Absolutely.
Motor vehicle agreements are going to be signed at least 3 of the countries, and a lot of the connectivity projects that I spoke about. For example, one of the trains that may be launched this time on the visit is between Dhaka and New Jalpaiguri, near Siliguri. And this, Haldibari, Chilakati, this rail link, all this is going to help the connectivity with Nepal and Bhutan. So this is where even the sub-regional cooperation, this is what the 4 countries, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, and Nepal decided, that even if SAARC is not going anywhere, let us sub-regional cooperation between SAARC go somewhere. And it has progressed. Then there is BIMSTEC, which is a connective organization between South Asia and Southeast Asia, because Myanmar and Thailand are both members of BIMSTEC. BIMSTEC is based in, the headquarters are based in Bangladesh. And again, I think that both the leaders attach a lot of importance to BIMSTEC. There may be a summit this year if the pandemic allows it, or a virtual summit. And this again is a very important example of how, if India and Bangladesh are cooperating well, they can show the way and take a lot of progress in organizations like BBIN and BIMSTEC.
Absolutely right. Joyita, your take? I mean, ties between, say, New Delhi and Dhaka and of course, like its ramification for a stable and peaceful South Asia?
I think India and Bangladesh has a lot of things to do, especially when it comes to stability of South Asia, because we also have to see the developments. We have seen that India and Bangladesh is right now probably the most prosperous nation in South Asia. Our, of course, India we have achieved, and Bangladesh was also emerging as a major economic power. It has shown incredible success in the human development story, which is emerging, and also in poverty elevation. But also we have to understand the region where we belong to. The security also play a major role, and if the peace right now, the kind of stability we see in Bangladesh and India, also in certain parts of India's northeast, it has been possible because of the cooperation of the two countries.
Okay.
And we really cannot overlook that. And definitely there, since we have the right, the regional, the sub-regional and the region comes in a very big way. And India and Bangladesh, when it comes to already mentioned about the BBIN, they are playing a major role, extending connectivity, and all trade. Also, when it comes to BIMSTEC, they have a greater role to play. And so, and in fact, the overall Bay of Bengal region, I think India, Bangladesh together, we can't forget now the Bay of Bengal. Bangladesh is a major partner, and the way, in fact, now the lot of thrust is going on in the Pacific. So all this can bind together. It's not only regional, but on the larger global context also.
Right, absolutely. So there we have to end it here, ma'am. Many thanks for joining us, Ambassador Sikri, and many thanks for joining us, Joyita Bhattacharya from ORF. Well, and of course, like elucidating and of course, like highlighting the importance of ties between the two countries and how it's really essential for these two countries to maintain better ties and close ties and of course, like cordial ties so as to have a larger peace and stability in the entire South Asian region. Well, that's it in this edition of Discussion Today. Thanks for watching Sunset TV. Goodbye.